There are major changes that are coming to the VA's 38 CFR schedule of ratings in 2026 that will affect mental health, tinnitus, and sleep apnea, amongst others. So it's important to take action now. I can't say this enough. Take action now to lock in your claim before it is too late. Today, I'm showing you the initial steps to get your claim started and moving forward. Hi, I'm Mike. The information I'm sharing with you today is strictly information that I learned myself going through the process that I want to share with you, and is in no way legal or other type of advice. And I appreciate you joining me. The first step in the process is to file what is called an intent to file. Now, this is not actually filing the official claim, but rather this is giving notice to the VA that you do intend to file a claim and that you're going to start the process of gathering the information and getting the file submitted to them for review. The intent to file is VA Form 21-0966. You can access it online at va.gov, or do what I recommend, and that is get with a qualified veteran service officer, also referred to as a VSO, and let them work with you on your behalf to get this filed. I personally use the Disabled American Veterans, the DAV, and they had an office located in my local veterans hospital. The intent to file is going to lock in your 2026 effective date and also establish a date for back pay once your claim is finalized. Also, by establishing that effective date, it determines which schedule of ratings that you will fall under when the VA is making their final determination on your claim. One of the benefits that you have now, if you file an intent to claim under these conditions where you have proposed changes, is that when your claim is finalized, you'll get the benefit of whichever schedule is best for you, either the old schedule or the proposed new schedule. So here's the action that you first need to take. The first step is to identify and secure a qualified veteran services officer, also referred to as a VSO, to work with you on your case, and they will do so free of charge. Some examples of a qualified VSO are Disabled American Veterans, the DAV, American Legion, the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, or your county, in most cases, have a veteran service officer that can work with you as well. All of these individuals are typically located either at the county seat, if they are a county VSO, or your local Veterans Health Center. This VSO is going to work with you in order to get the intent to file complete and submitted to the VA. After filing this report, you have up to a year to claim all of your evidence needed that you can submit with that file when it's time to submit it. Now, it's important to note, a lot of times people make the mistake, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, they'll file the intent to file and then they immediately turn around and file the claim without having all the evidence gathered. I think that's a recipe for disaster. When you file your intent to file, that gives you up to a year to gather all the supporting documents needed to support your claim. So during this 1 year period, you're going to get with your qualified VSO first and have them to order your military service treatment records if you do not currently have those. They do take quite some time to come in, so you need to get that started right off the bat. Also, go and gather all of your private medical records that are in support of whatever type conditions that you have that you feel are connected and linked to your military service. I recommend you go and you get a copy of those records yourself versus having the VA to do it on your behalf, because if they do it on your behalf, it will be greatly delayed. Plus, if you get them on your own, that gives you the ability to review through those medical files, understand what is in there, and only submit to the VA what is pertinent to your particular case. And then in addition to that, know what the risk is of submitting that information on your behalf. It's important to know only submit the information to the VA that is relevant to your claim. This will cut down on confusion and cuts down on them having to review information that does not have any relevance whatsoever to your claim. But it is very important to know what is stated in those medical records in order to know what type of challenges that you may have throughout the claim process. During this time, you will also collect other things. For example, personal statements or even buddy letters. Remember, the rule is, if it is not in your records, then according to the VA, it did not happen. I can't stress enough the importance of taking ownership over your information and fully understanding what is in your military service records, your private medical records, and any other documents or information that you submit to the VA in support of your claim. Because at some point throughout the process, if there are any questions or any conditions that are raised due to what is in your evidence, you need to know what that is to where you can address it and deal with it in the most effective manner possible. Remember, that reviewer is getting your file and knows nothing about you whatsoever. They've got probably 30 or 40 more they're working on at that same time. If you throw them a big pile of information, unorganized, and in a scatterbrained fashion, it's going to take them forever to try to figure it out if they're able to do so. Your goal is to be able to put your package together and submit it to them so that when they get it, it's easy to look through, it's easy to review, it's easy to verify whatever events you are claiming happened, and it makes it easy for them to approve your claim versus not. It's important to note that under the 38 CFR 3.159, the VA does have a duty to assist, but you as the veteran have a duty to provide. Take ownership over your file. I can't stress that enough. Now, while you're gathering the supporting information before you submit your claim file, there are 3 things that you must have or you will never get your claim approved. The first thing is that you must have a current medical diagnosis, and that medical diagnosis must be chronic in nature. Number 2, there has to be an in-service event that is linked to you having that chronic illness. And number 3, you must have what's called a nexus given by a qualified medical professional. And that nexus is simply stating that that medical professional believes that more likely than not, that your diagnosed illness is indeed linked to the in-service event that you claimed. So my recommended strategy going in is, as you are gathering this information in support of your file, keep those 3 things first and foremost in your mind, and make sure that when you go through your file that you highlight in your file each one of these 3 elements so that when you submit your claim, you've got those bases covered. Now, one exception to that, if you do not go to a private doctor, then that 3rd element, the nexus, will be put back on the official C&P exam that will be ordered from the VA. In those cases, you'll just need to focus on making sure that you have all of your current medical diagnosis and that they are chronic in nature, and that you've properly identified the in-service event and provided any type of evidence associated with that on your behalf. Buddy letters, it could be news articles reporting the event, it could be information that's in your medical records or your military records, just to name a few. Now, once you've gathered all this information, you're going to get back with that VSR and you're going to have them to file all of this evidence along with your official claim form into the VA at one time. It's also a good time to consider any kind of secondary claims that you may want to file and file those at the same time as well. The best way to do this is under the fully developed claim process, which is a checkbox. And what this is you telling the VA that I've got everything gathered that I think you need to make the decision, and you're asking them to expedite your decision. There's no risk to you, because if they do determine that there is other non-federal information that they must have, they'll just simply convert you from the fully developed claim, put your claim into just a standard claim submission. So just a quick pro tip, make sure that you do gather this information as best that you can and put it together in some sort of logical order and cover all the gaps, because the backlog is real. And just remember, junk in, junk out. If you give them something that does not properly tell your story and support your claim, then you're going to greatly delay the process on your behalf and will most likely get an outcome that you're not going to be happy with. Well, that concludes the first important step to take of phase 1 in the process. Soon I'll be coming out with a phase 2 video that will be revealing the evidence matrix that I have worked with in order for it to make it very hard for the rater to say no on your claim. So if this information is of importance to you, please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. Put a like on the video to send the content out to more viewers. And I do appreciate you watching today. I'm Mike, and I will see you on the next episode.